Torah Tour, a short Dvar Torah for Parashat Shoftim. This week we'll embark on a short guided tour between the realms of Pshat, literal interpretation, and Drash, homiletic interpretation. Our starting point will be the station of the Zrua l'chayim and Kiva, given to the Cohanim, and who can fathom our destination. So grab your hiking gear and let's learn about the stomach, arm, and cheeks. Let's set out. At our first station, we'll get acquainted with the verse itself. Our topic is located within the commandments realms of the various leadership roles in the nation, specifically in the context of the Kohanim. Anyone who slaughters an animal must give 3 parts of it: the arm, the cheeks, and the stomach. Before we try to understand the reasons for these gifts, it's worth bypassing the potential misunderstanding. Despite the use of the words lizbוח, zevach, this Cohanic gift isn't given from the parts of a sacrifice brought to the altar, but from everyday, mundane, carnivorous meals like today's average steak or hamburger. Why then use the term lizbach zevach, which reminds us of the mizbach? Because the mizbach is named after the zevach, not vice versa. Explanation. Lizbach equals to slaughter. The mizbach is simply the place where the slaughtered parts are brought. That is why, Ramban explains, this is a new commandment upon entering the land. In the wilderness, the only thing slaughtered was sacrifices. Upon entering the land, also mundane meat was slaughtered. Let's continue to the next station. Why give the priest specifically the arms, cheeks, and stomach? It depends on whom you ask. Rashi brings the words of the Sifri that they are a reward for Pinchas' zealotry at the end of Parashat Balak. When the Israelites began to sin with the daughters of Moab, Pinchas took a spear in his hand, thus meriting the zrua for the Kohanim. In Tahlim it says that he also stood and prayed, according to the midrash, thus meriting the cheeks, and finally, he pierced the Midianite woman through her Coba, and therefore the Kohanim also received the stomach, the kiva. Despite my strong desire to see pshat in Rashi's words, we'll label them for now as drash. The difficulty I have with this interpretation is mainly aesthetic. Why combine the description in Bamidbar with the description from Tehillim? But that's my problem, not Rashi's. That's how Drash works. Rashi does, however, answer Ramban's implicit question. Ramban explained that the reason we waited until now to present the Kohanic gifts is the lifestyle changes that the Israelites undergone upon entering the land. Rashi explains that following Pinchas' act at the end of Sefer Bamidbar, a new law was introduced in Sefer Dvarim, the next book. Next, we'll depart a bit from the flourishing fields of Drash, but don't worry, we'll return to a beautiful and surprising corner of Drash later. Rambam, in his Guide to the Perplexed, quoted by Ramban, explains that the arm, cheeks, and stomach are no different from other Kohanic gifts. Just as we give the first fruits, which are the first of the land's produce, challah, which is the first of your dough, and the first of the fleece, which is, well, the first of the fleece. So the cheeks are also the first of the body, the arm is the first of the limbs extended from the body, and the stomach is the first of the intestines. The first is given to the priest. As a simple interpretation of the text, this is a logical explanation. The only difficulty I have with it is that I don't really understand in what way these organs are first. Are they the first to be created in the process of fetal formation? The first organs the animal uses? The first parts the butcher prepares after slaughter? Maybe, as Ibn Ezra says in his second interpretation, it's simply about the better parts of the meat. Since I'm not a biologist, zoologist, slaughterer, or even a meat eater, I don't have any answer to this question, so let's move on to the next station in our journey. Rabbi David Tzvi Hoffman takes us to the symbolic realm, which is somewhere between Pshat and Drash. He explains that when speaking man wants to control flora and fauna, he needs to give the Kohen the advantage of flora over intimate matter, the stomach responsible for growth, the advantage of fauna over flora, the arm, the animal's front leg that allows walking, and the advantage of the speaker over fauna, the cheeks that hold the speaking tongue. But I promised we'd return to the fields of Drash. If you keep quiet and look carefully, you can see a rare sight in the midrashic realms. Somewhere deep from Pshat forest hides a Drash interpretation written by none other than the great literalist Rabbi Avraham ibn Ezra. Let's observe his words quietly so as not to startle them so far from their comfort zone. And by way of drash, says Ibn Ezra, because the Kohen is the one who slaughters the korbanot, the arm is the reward for his arm that slaughters, and the cheeks the reward for the blessing, and the stomach the reward for the examination. This phenomenon is so rare that I want to encourage its return in the future. Therefore, I'll only note that I'm not sure if the intention is that these are general things the Kohen does, slaughter corresponding to the sacrificial service, blessing, the priestly blessing, and examination, laws of leprosy or examination and investigation in court, or alternatively, 3 actions related to the work taken from the Kohen when we choose to eat ordinary meat and not sacrifice. Slaughter, the sacrificial blessing, and examining the sacrifice. What I certainly won't do is point out that according to the Gemara, slaughter is valid even if done by a non-priest and... Oops, we lost them. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the tour between the realms of Pshat and Drash. I was your guide, Dovi Holtz, one who loves Tanakh. In memory of my beloved and heroic student, Amichai Shimon ben Yishai and Bat Yerubin, Hashem Yikom Damo.